Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the 2024 Buick Encore GX. This is the ST trim level, finished off in ocean blue metallic. This has a total MSRP of $28,000. Huge shout out to Randy Marion Buick for providing this all new vehicle for me today. Be sure to take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. Powering this Encore is a 1.3 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that is paired to the CVT transmission. This pumps out 155 horsepower, 174 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the front wheels. This weighs in right around 3,200 pounds. 0 to 60 is closer to 9 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 29 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 102 inches. Its overall length is 171. It has a width of 71 and a height of 65.2 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this all-new Encore, the only options for this particular model is the exterior color. The ocean blue metallic is just under $500 for that color. Everything else is standard on the window sticker. So as we work our way now to the front, let's start off with the all-new Buick logo. I think it's a very cool design, seeing the 3 individual badges right next to each other than the circular Buick logos from previous models. Definitely makes you think what kind of vehicle this is just from the front end design. Now for the DRLs and the turn signals, which are LED, those are actually separated from the headlight housings. So those are on the top sections just above kind of this bullnose design right underneath, almost connecting both of those housings. So the headlights are in the lower section, along with some functional air inlets, which are just underneath those, finished off in gloss black. And then for the grille, it is kind of just in the middle section of this front end design. Plenty of cutouts along with the lower section. And then there's some brush trim, chrome for the surround on the grille, and gloss black in the lower part of the bumper. It actually works very well with the combination of all of those colors. With this blue, it definitely sets it apart and gives it a great look. Now that gloss black works its way to the fender flares too, along with the lower section of the door and the side skirt. And there's even gloss black for these 18-inch wheels, which match very nicely. Now this does have body colored side mirrors. There is no sunroof. The roof racks are finished off in that brush trim. And I think it has a really good design. This is more of a crossover SUV from Buick, so it is on the smaller side, but it has great lines to it, especially in that lower section, and then a few at the height of the door handles. Now coming to the back, this has a body colored spoiler with that integrated third brake light, wiper blade in the lower section. This does have LED taillights. There's a backup camera too, and then there's that new logo. Buick is spelled out underneath it though, with the badging on both sides, and then all of the gloss black for the lower section there. Now as we work our way to the cargo space, there's no button on the key fob. It is not a power operated trunk, so there's the button up underneath to open that up. And for the smaller crossover that this is, there's actually a decent amount of space. A little bit of a cubby over on that passenger side as well as on the driver's side. There is the spare tire underneath the floor. You could place some other items on both sides. It's not that large of a tire, so you have a little bit of hidden space. This cover is removable and the back seats do fold down. So if you need a little bit more interior space, you do get that option, which is nice, especially for the size. And then up top, one grab handle on that passenger side, and that is easy to close. Now as we work our way to the interior, surprisingly, there is a button to lock the back doors, which is nice, along with the chrome giving it that two-tone design. And for the interior, we have that cream leather, which sets it apart from this blue, along with the rest of the black. There's some plastics, but for sub 30 grand, you would expect to see that. A little bit of storage down below, and then the beautiful design for these seats. Now at 5'10", I actually have a good amount of space. The front seat's set at my height, so I have plenty of room. There's pockets behind both front seats, and then 2 auxiliaries in the lower section there. And then I have 2 inches maybe above my head. Honestly, for the size, I'm pretty comfortable. Now these seats do not recline, so they are fixed in this position, but I really don't have any issues. If I need to ride back here, I could definitely do it. No armrest or cup holders in this middle seat, so we have a 60-40 split that is connected. Big pillar right there, but it's a small vehicle. so it is easy to see all around. Now the front door panel is just like the rear, however there's the window adjustments, mirror adjustments, lock and unlock, and a little bit more storage. And the front seats are automatic, so there's the slider bar, there's the height adjustment as well as incline and recline. ST is also up in the headrest. And the steering wheel is actually finished off in leather. Has a nice design to it with that new logo. Flattish bottom design to it too. On this left side, there's cruise and even distance pacing. Also over on the right side of the steering wheel, there's Bluetooth and voice commands, along with a scrolling dial. You have music and your phone. Now for the gauge cluster, this is fixed. You can pull up your music shortcuts by using that button on the right of the steering wheel along with your phone. But for the rest of the info, there's some vitals on the left side, like your fuel and engine temperature, miles per hour, there's what gear you're in, odometer, your range until empty, and then some of the cruise control settings in the upper section. So that information is all that you get, but it is nice to be able to see that. Now this also has volume and tuning adjustments on the back side of the steering wheel, so that is nice to see. And then over on the left side, there's all the headlight adjustments, a dimmer switch for the gauges, and then for the infotainment system, there is a power and volume button on this far left side. And then for all this information, I can quickly pull up the music, go to phone when you have that paired. If I click on what looks to be this pages or maintenance tab, you can go into your maintenance. You can also pull up some gauges to monitor this information, look at your trip information too. So it's nice that you can at least go through this and swipe through to go through some more of this information just to see how everything is doing. And then the home button is in the lower section where there's Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and some various settings to go into. So not a ton of information, but for under $30,000, this is plentiful for everyday driving. There's 2 air vents underneath that, and then the climates are adjusted or laid out very well, fan speed, temperature, where you'd like the air to go, and that is it. You have some auxiliaries down below, along with a little bit of storage space. And then in front of the shifter, there's the engine start stop, lane keeping assist, and traction control. And then by putting this into reverse, that is the backup camera. You have the guidelines that you can turn on and off. And then there's plus and minus on the side of the shifter. So if you do need to shift gears, you have that to do. There's the e-brake just behind that, 2 cup holders, a lot more storage space in the middle. And then there's a little bit of storage space in the center armrest. I can remove that tray and there's a lot more space up underneath it. So you could actually hide some items under there. And then the glove box has an ample amount of space for the rest of that info. Now look at visibility from the driver's seat. That pillar doesn't look all that big once you are up front. So you can actually see in all directions, which is of course great to see, especially for the size of this. But now let's go ahead and get this out on the road. As we set off now behind the wheel for this under $30,000 all new Buick Encore, there are several different trim levels that you can get for this. Some of those are over that $30,000 mark. But if you're not looking for something quite that expensive and you want to stay under the $30,000 mark, this is honestly a really good trim level to go with. It is very basic for that price. That's kind of what you would expect to see in today's world where everything is getting a million different settings, all these different features, all these seating adjustments. For under 30 grand, you're kind of back to that basics vehicle, but you're also getting a brand new vehicle at the same time with some of the updated technology. We do have adaptive cruise control, which is nice to see. So you have the gap adjustment that you can set up, which I think is phenomenal for a car at this price point. And we do have some other technology aids to make this comfortable for daily driving, hooking up your phone, going through all that info, and that's kind of all that you need in a new vehicle. If you're just looking for something to get you from point A to point B, I think this is really nice. I love the all new screen setup here. A lot of vehicles are going towards something like that, looking like one continuous screen, just to give it that upscale vibe. So it has the looks of some of the more expensive vehicles without the price tag, without some of that technology. And as far as driving this, it's very smooth. It's quiet too. It feels very refined for a $28,000 car. It feels as a Buick should. It's not, it feels really good. It feels pretty solid, which is nice. And after we come around this turn here, we can put it into the low range gear. Now it does have the CVT transmission, but you can shift using plus and minus. Handles pretty well for this turn, but now let's give it some gas. Into fourth. It's very peppy. We are up to speed. That's impressive to see. I was not expecting that from a 1.3 liter 3-cylinder engine. Again, in a world where all of these vehicles are going into hybrid systems, larger engines than this, 2 liter, 2.5 liters, even 3 liters. 1.3 liters, not all that common. You see that, and there's small numbers out of it. But it feels like it can get up out of its way. It's got that peppiness, it's very lightweight. And with an acceleration, here we go. And it's peppy. Like I said, it gets up and moves. It's not crazy fast, but it accelerates. And that's nice to see for this type of vehicle. This is just a smaller crossover Buick, so it's not performance oriented by any means. But for that 1.3 liter, it's got some pep in it, which is nice to see. So here's the view driving a sub $30,000 Buick. It looks very nice. I love the new updates. I love the new logo design as well, instead of having that circle, which I think is cool. New screen. It gives you a really nice luxury vibe for under 30K, which is nice. If you just want basically a basic vehicle, you have your climates, you have some info to go through, you just hop in it and drive, get from point A to point B, and you don't really need anything else. Honestly, this is not a bad option. This has been very nice to drive so far. I honestly don't have any complaints. There's some plastic, of course, for that price tag. You're going to expect that. But other than that, I mean, we have some brush trim accents to give it a good look. We have distance pacing. I really can't pick anything apart from this. For under 30 grand, you really can't complain. It's an affordable price. It's a brand new vehicle. It's very fuel efficient too, and it's spacious for what it is, what it has to offer. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for this brand new 2024 Buick Encore GX with the ST trim level. Once again, huge shout out to Randy Marion Buick for providing this vehicle for me today. Check out their website, give this video a huge thumbs up, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.